Alex O'Connor and C.S. Lewis would be a discussion that I would love to hear if time and space were not a problem, if they could just be altered, that we could be sitting here all in a room talking about that. And that is my motivation for making this video, that somehow this matters, that we talk about pain, suffering, hurt, harm that is in the world and that is part of our existence. I'm going to look heavily at the general focus of C.S. Lewis's Theology. The Great Divorce is, I think, one of the best books for identifying some of these elements, such as the depth and the eternal nature of the goodness of God, and how that places into perspective the very real and present suffering that isn't ever diminished by Jesus. Look at him as he weeps for Lazarus. I'm also wanting you to know that this isn't me reading from notes. This is me trying to wrestle with this. How can I prove to you I don't have a teleprompter? I can't. You'll have to trust me. And one of the reasons I think Alex O'Connor is so articulate and helpful and heartfelt, transparent in the way that he talks about Christian faith is it's coming from inside him. It's not something that you see as a area that he's producing. You can identify, and I think this is probably why we like podcasts so much. You see the real person. You're talking to someone else, and you have to react from what you know and what you've experienced. And that is why I would love, if only that could be possible, C.S. Lewis and Alex O'Connor having a discussion. Maybe one of the foundational scriptures could be Romans 8, "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is revealed to us." And what Lewis says, joy is the serious business of heaven. When we approach pain and suffering, there isn't a gotcha moment in theology. There isn't a moment where we say, here is the information I want to give to you. Sometimes it's very aggressively given to you in apologetic format, and I really object to that. There is no gotcha moment. There is, though, Jesus, and the way that he sees us and the way we see Jesus, I think is incredibly, incredibly important. If I could see more of who I am, made in the image of God, through the vision of Jesus, how he sees you, how he sees me, if I could see more of that heart, I think things change. I think things are altered. And Lewis focused heavily, and this is me painting a broader picture of what he spoke about in The Great Divorce and in some of the other books that he wrote, the Chronicles of Narnia, which are over here, or the Space Trilogy, which I used to have, but I learned it someone else. The picture that I think Lewis paints is that hell or any evil will never ransom good, that the deepest pains and sorrows of our heart are things that and experiences that God desires to heal. And that question that Alex brings up, and many other great theologians, and remember, theologian doesn't mean that you have to believe in God. It's something of discussing the nature of God, studying that. The existence of evil will continue to be a problem. There will not be a gotcha moment where a Christian is able to articulate to someone who has a different point of view, this is why evil exists. It is in the narrative, and I think in the story, that we find the revelation of Jesus and the healing. In Revelation, it says, he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. I'll put the scriptures here below. This is, in somewhat, a very shallow and introductional way of talking about this topic. I think we could go into different aspects of C.S. Lewis's theology, and also apologetics, looking at what Jesus said, and some of the claims and foundational discussions that are happening today by people such as the gifted Alex O'Connor. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I would love to dialogue with people, and if at all in the future, I would really enjoy having this discussion in person, whether that's recorded or not. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video.